All right, we're back with another pick'em video. It is Saturday, February 1st. Kind of crazy, it's already February, but we're gonna talk about a bunch of plays in this one. I'm loving a lot of plays on the board. We're gonna break them down. You're gonna see the hit rates, visually, the matchups, all those different types of things. You're gonna see a tool that I'm using that I think a lot of you guys can be interested in, so definitely check that out in the description down below. But also, if you're new around here, definitely go ahead and subscribe. Leave the video a like, comment something down below whenever you guys do that. It does tell YouTube to push this video out a little bit more, so I appreciate whenever you guys do that. And yeah, a bunch of plays I'm liking on the board. If also you're new around here, we do go over the recap, so we're going to talk about that first. Hopefully you guys made some money yesterday because we had a lot of good reads. Then we're going to go over the injury news, any teams on a back-to-back, just let you guys know what's happening in the NBA, and then we will start breaking down those plays. So that's the agenda of the video. Could be a little bit of a longer one just because I'm liking a lot of different plays. And again, like always, you guys don't have to tell me exactly if you like what I'm seeing, like what I'm putting down in terms of stats and data and things like that. Definitely go ahead and tail that with confidence. But if you don't like that, again, let me know in the comments down below. I'm very susceptible to constructive criticism and all that different types of stuff. So if you're seeing something I'm laying down and you're like, that sounds horrible, don't do that, let me know in the comments and I'll be sure to respond to you. You guys are awesome in the comments. So let's get into it. It is really late. It is a Friday night. But yeah, Saturday, a lot of basketball, hopefully some good reads for us. So let's get into the recap, then we'll talk about the injury news, and then we'll get into the plays. And then Future Rich, just jumping in here. I just recorded the whole video. I'm going to be monotone throughout the entire thing. It's 4:30 a.m. right now on a Friday night, so I'm tired as hell, but I do think I have a really good read on a lot of these games, and hopefully you guys enjoy the video. But yeah, just wanted to point out there's a lot of monotoneness going on in this one. So hopefully you guys enjoy. Now we'll get back to present or past Rich. All right, so jumping into the recap of yesterday's picks, we had James Harden over 9.5 assists. That was a plus money play. I think I took it at plus 110. This is probably even more later on in the day because I saw this at 8.5 in a lot of books, 9.5 for definitely some plus money. So hopefully you guys took advantage of that. He ended with 10 assists. The Hornets definitely kept it close, and he was able to get there for us. The Clippers did end up handling the job. Harden handled the job for us. And yeah, we'll take that green check mark any day of the week for some plus money. Nikola Jokic over 26.5 points. He ended up getting there as well. That was a little bit sweaty. He ended with 28, 29, 30 points or something like that. I know he got over the 26.5, but he also did not get the triple-double. I said maybe sprinkle in some triple-double. He didn't get there. He had 9 rebounds. He had a bunch of assists in that one. And the Nuggets just squeaked out with a win. Even though Tyrese Maxey went nuclear, the 76ers still look pretty good without all those injuries, or with all those injuries. Tyrese Maxey, Yabusele had like 28 points, which is crazy. But yeah, Nikola Jokic over 26.5 points. He was able to handle that. Just short on the triple-double, though. Daniel Gafford, this was sweaty right off the bat. I think he had 14 or 16 first-half points. He ended up getting with 16 points on the dot, so he stayed under for us at 16.5 points. I know this is at 15.5 in a lot of books, but eventually a lot of books have him at 16.5. That's a little bit too much for us. So we took the under, and the restricted area defense held true for us. That Duran defense, that Pistons defense, kept him under in the second half. So that was pretty good to see. 15.5, of course, did go over there, but we'll take the under at 16.5 for sure. Josh Green over 7.5 points. He had 7 points in the first half of this one, ended with 10. That just looked too low with the amount of minutes he was going to get, and they did end up keeping it close, so he was able to stay on the floor. He was probable going into the game. I thought he was going to play, and again, that just looked a little bit too low, so we took that, and he cashed for us. DeJounte Murray over 16.5 points. He did have 4 points in 8 minutes, and he ended up getting hurt very badly. He tore his Achilles. He's out for the season. So unfortunate there. Prayers up for DeJounte Murray. But he ended up pushing on a lot of books. I know FanDuel pushed him. PrizePicks, any of those DFS sites definitely pushed him. So you got that retracted. I'm going to count that as a push. So unfortunate for DeJounte Murray. That sucks to see anytime someone gets injured like that. And yeah, it's going to count as a push. Tyrese Maxey under 38.5 points assists. This was a lean of the video, and he ended up going nuclear. He had like 40 points in the game. And again, they kept that game close, but the Nuggets end up pulling that thing out with Nikola Jokic hitting a couple baskets down the stretch of that game to push them over. So Tyrese Maxey was the one miss of the night, but yeah, good reads overall. All right, so I'm jumping into some lineup news now for today's games. That was also the most monotoned recap of a winning day ever, so just going to try to get the vibes up here. For the back-to-backs, we got the Hornets and the Nuggets, the Suns and the Spurs, so 4 teams on a back-to-back. I always like to point that out just because some guys might pop up on the injury report, so just keep that in mind. These teams are on a back-to-back. Some players don't play very well on a back-to-back. Some players play fine on back-to-backs. Just always want to point that out for you guys. Going to the Hawks and the Pacers, Trae Young, probable. That's the big name there. Bogdanovic out, Capella out, Zeller out, so look at Okongwu to get a little bit more minutes. He's been starting, he's been getting a little bit more minutes. He's been playing pretty well in those minutes, so just want to keep that in mind. Nembhard and Mathurin game time decisions. They both missed last game, so I want to point that out. If they do play, that's, high usage players, not very high usage players, but guys that are going to get baskets, play defense and things like that. So you want to keep in mind if Nembhard and Mathurin are going to be active. For the Magic, Jalen Suggs is going to be a game time decision. He's been in and out of the lineup since coming back from that injury, so you want to keep an eye out for him playing or not. For the Jazz, they're actually pretty healthy here. Nothing too crazy on the injury report. Laurie's going to be back. Sexton's going to be playing. John Collins, those guys all look like they're going to be playing at this point. So just keep that in mind. The Jazz are looking pretty healthy, and the Magic are also struggling a little bit. So could be a closer game than the spread might say. For the Nuggets and the Hornets, Westbrook's going to be a game time decision. He left early in that game yesterday, so keep that in mind. He played 25 minutes, and I think he left early with some sort of injury. He might be totally fine and ready to go. Just keep that in mind. He is a game time decision. For the Hornets, LaMelo Ball is going to be out. Mark Williams is going to put down as a game time decision. He is getting lines on some books, so he could be returning very soon. Okogie game time decision. Cody Martin game time decision. Keep an eye out for especially Mark Williams if he's going to come back in this game or not. I don't have a read on that just yet. For the Nets, Cam Thomas, Cam Johnson, both out in this game. Those guys are the biggest high usage guys on that team, but we've also seen a bunch of games with them out. D'Lo, Claxton, a bunch of those guys are going to be getting a boost with these dudes out of the lineup. Bogdanovic is still out. Clowney's still out. So we've seen this movie before. Just keep an eye on different lines coming out at different spots. For the Rockets, we got Sengun as the game time decision. He didn't play last game. He just got named an all-star, so I kind of expect him to play here, but just keep an eye on him being active or not. And then Jabari Smith Jr. is still out for this one. For the Wizards, Brogdon's going to be a game time decision. He's missed a whole bunch of games. I don't know if he's going to play or not, but if he does, that's going to be a little bit less usage for the normal players. The Wizards are also like a poverty franchise. They lose every game by like 20 plus. So nothing too crazy there. Bagley out, Sadiq Bey out. Sarr is going to be out for that one as well. He's missed the last few games. For the Timberwolves, big news here. Julius Randle is going to be out. He hasn't missed a game this year, but he's going to be missing today's game. DiVincenzo is going to be out for this one, and then Mike Conley is going to be a game time decision. I also don't know why this says G DiVincenzo. I guess his name's Giante DiVincenzo. I guess that's what I put. I don't really know what's happening there. For the Kings, no notable injuries, so they're pretty healthy. For the Thunder, Chet Holmgren still is out. Caruso is going to be out. Mitchell's going to be out. We've seen this a bunch of times, so just keep that in mind. Maybe look at games that these guys have been out of the lineup. We've seen a bunch of them. For the Lakers, AD will be out for the next week or so. LeBron James probable. Rui Hachimura probable. Finney-Smith, Vincent, both game time decisions, as Wood's going to be out for this one. They got a bunch of injury news each and every game, so we always got to keep up with the Lakers injury report. The big news here, of course, is AD is going to be out in this one. For the Knicks, Josh Hart's game time decision. He's been a game time decision the last few games, so and he keeps playing. So I think expect him to play here, especially in the matchup against the Lakers in Madison Square Garden. But Mitchell Robinson still doesn't have a timetable for return, so I assume he's going to be out in this one. For the Heat, Jimmy Butler is still suspended. Josh Richardson's been out pretty much the entire season. And then for the Spurs, no notable injuries just yet, but they are on a back-to-back, so just keep that in mind. Someone could be popping up on the injury report. Then for the Suns, no injuries as well. They're also on a back-to-back, so again, keep in mind someone might pop on the injury report, but nothing so far. For the Trailblazers, Jeremy Grant, game time decision, and Thibel's been out for a long time this year. So those are all the injuries. Now let's get into plays. This is like the best part of the video, but I always want to point out those injuries, the back-to-back sets and things like that, just so you guys know what's happening as of right now in terms of the teams and things like that who are playing. All right, so moving into the first play here, it's going to be Nikola Jokic over his points line at 25.5. I think this is looking too low for a guy that's played really well on back-to-backs. He is in a back-to-back. That could be scary for some people, but not for him. He's been over every single time in this situation. He plays a whole bunch of minutes on back-to-backs. He's been playing a whole bunch of minutes all throughout the season, so not too worried about the back-to-back set. And now he gets the Hornets, who probably don't have Mark Williams. He could be playing in this game, but regardless, they allow a whole bunch of points in the paint. They also allow a whole bunch of points in terms of post-up. That's where Jokic is getting a whole bunch of his points. 19% of his points come in terms of post-up. 36% of his shots come in terms of the paint. So this is a weak defense in terms of the paint defense, and he's going to be able to eat this team alive, just like we saw against the 76ers. That's what we thought. He was going to destroy this line at 26.5. He ended up creeping over at 28. But he's in the same situation here, again, back-to-back where he's thrived, and I think he's going to be able to take advantage of this matchup, especially if Mark Williams is out of this game. He's going up against Taj Gibson, who's 39 years old and should have been retired about 5 years ago. So Nikola Jokic over 25.5, looking pretty good. Again, back-to-backs already looking good, but if we want to look at teams in terms of like restricted area defense, we can see that as well. Again, they're ranked 23rd, so teams that are ranked in terms of like 18th to 28th, that's about the middle ground. He's over this in 91% of games. I don't need him to assist the ball. I don't need him to rebound the ball. I'm just going to his points at 25.5, and I think he's going to be able to eat in this matchup against them. He hasn't played them yet this year, I don't think. We can see the head-to-head. Yeah, I didn't play him against this year. The last year, again, this is a totally different team. He went under in both these games. They won that by 7 and 18. Not putting too much stock in that one. He's been a totally different player this year, MVP type status each and every year. But this year, he's been scoring the ball pretty consistently. The last few games hasn't been as consistent, but whenever he has a matchup like this, where in terms that he can take advantage of the post-up defense, in terms of the restricted area defense, he's been able to do just that. So definitely not worried about Taj Gibson down low. I think Nikola Jokic is going to be able to score the ball. 25.5 sounds a little bit too low to me. That's why I'm going to be taking over 25.5 points for the first pick in this video. And if you don't know what tool I'm using, by the way, I'm using a tool called Props Madness. You can see the power of it throughout this video, but you can get a free week trial if you want to check it out for yourself. There's also a 25% off code using code RICH. That's in the description down below as well. You 25% off your first month or your first year. Props Madness is awesome. Again, I don't have to talk about it too much because you're going to see it throughout this video, but they have hit rates, a bunch of different awesome filters. They have, season shot charts, player type analysis, similar players and things like that. And they're just continuing to add stuff. So definitely check out Props Madness. It is in the link in the description down below. Code RICH for a free week, 25% off your first month or your first year. And that leads us into our second play of the video. And it's going to be Jonas Valanciunas here, under his rebounds at 8.5. Now, I know a lot of people are probably not going to be on this one because Alex Sarr is already ruled out for this one. And in games without Alex Sarr, he's over in 5 of 6 games. But I still like this matchup for him in terms of the under. The Minnesota Timberwolves don't allow a whole bunch of rebounds. They're ranked 6th in rebounds allowed. Now, Julius Randle's out of this one, but Gobert's still down there gobbling up rebounds. And we can see teams or players similar to Jonas Valanciunas have not been hitting the rebounds lines at all. This is, based on Props Madness, similar players to Valanciunas. 3 players have gone over this, but most players are under this. 3 of 15 guys have gone over this in terms of guys that play rebound similar to Jonas Valanciunas. So I'm liking that right off the bat. But again, you can also see his minutes start trickling down here. 32 minutes in that first game without Sarr. Then we saw 23. We did see a 29-minute game, but then we saw 21. Then we got 23, 18 minutes. So I'm expecting like 18 to 25 minutes here, and we can actually go ahead and make that in terms of a filter. 18 to 25 minutes, let's say, giving it the benefit of the doubt here. He's over this in 51% of games, but again, opponent rebounds allowed. We know this team does not allow a whole bunch of rebounds, and let's say the bottom 10 in terms of rebounds, he's under this, or he's over this in 4 of 10 games. The under's looking a whole lot better in this situation. So not the best play in the world, but 8.5 rebounds for a guy like Jonas Valanciunas in a difficult matchup. I don't love this for him. So sticking with the under 8.5, available in a whole bunch of different books. I think it's going to be plus money or definitely favored on the over here. So I'm definitely going against the grain in terms of what the books are thinking. But yeah, Jonas Valanciunas, wanted to point this one out for you guys. Under 8.5, I think is looking pretty good for us here. So in terms of minutes, in terms of rebounds allowed, you can look at that. He also played these guys head-to-head early in the year. He played 19 minutes, did have 8 rebounds, so stayed under in there. I don't expect anything, too crazy over 19 minutes. He might get 20, 23, 25 minutes, but I don't expect anything, more than that. And yeah, like in Jonas Valanciunas here, under 8.5 rebounds. Not the best play in the world, maybe more like a lean, but just wanted to point this one out for you guys. Then moving into the next play here, it's going to be Thompson, one of my favorite guys to bet on recently here, and it's going to be his points and rebounds at 25.5, and he's got a perfect matchup here. I'm not going to go too crazy in terms of like the filters and things, but all you got to know is in terms of his scoring, 65% of his points come in the restricted area. The Brooklyn Nets are ranked 24th in that regard, and then also his main source of scoring is in transition. They're ranked 26 in that regard. So I'm loving Thompson here, especially considering he doesn't always get the amount of minutes he should be getting, other than the fact that he's been getting that the past few games. You can see the minutes: 38, 31, 42, 41, 36, 40, 41, 35, 41, 36. He's been getting a ton of minutes lately. They finally realized the diamond in the rough that they got with this guy. So I'm just going to put this up very, very cautiously to 30 minutes. And now this turns into a 66.6% or 66.7% hit rate, which is looking really good. Then you add on the fact that they're weak interiorly, they're weak in terms of transition as main source of scoring and free throws, which is also a main source of scoring for him. This is looking like a really good matchup for him. Now, he hasn't played him head-to-head, I don't think. Yeah, he hasn't played him head-to-head, but so we don't have that to kind of look at. But Thompson in a really good matchup here, not on a back-to-back or anything like that. I think this is a good spot for him to get his points, get his rebounds, and then you also consider Jabari Smith Jr. out of the lineup. Alperen Sengun, potentially a game-time decision here. He could play. I assume he probably will play. But if he doesn't play, that's just going to be a boost in terms of rebounding, a little bit more in terms of usage as well. So we could see him scoring the ball a little bit more. But again, if Sengun plays, I'm liking this as well. So yeah, loving this thing for Thompson, 25.5. Not going to get too crazy in terms of the filters. All you got to know is 30-plus minutes, 66.7% hit rate, and it's a perfect matchup for him to score the ball. Really, really loving this one for Thompson. And then in terms of blowout, because I know a lot of people will probably be commenting about the blowout situation here, it is a 14.5 spread against this Brooklyn Nets team, but they've been playing pretty well with D'Angelo Russell at the realm of this one. If this is a blowout, though, we've only seen a couple blowouts. One was against this Brooklyn Nets team. They won this game by 20. But at the same time, they also won this game against the Wizards by 23. That was a perfect matchup for him. And he played 41 minutes still, even though they won by 23. And he did his job with 35-plus points and rebounds. So I'm not too worried about the blowout situation. Again, if it's too crazy early, of course, he might not get a ton of minutes here. But again, this is just 30-plus minutes. This isn't 35-plus. This isn't 40-plus. If we want to see games like that, 35-plus minutes, 34-plus minutes, 76.5% hit rate. So if this one stays relatively close and he gets a ton of time, this one's looking really, really good. Even if he gets 30 minutes, though, I'm still liking it in this spot. Next up, I want to talk about Shai Gilgeous-Alexander here. Now, I think he could score the ball in this matchup, but I'm going to go to his 5.5 assists going up against the Kings, who have been playing all right basketball, and I think this is going to be relatively close. Now, we do have a head-to-head matchup in this one, and they won this game by 21 points, and he had 11 assists, and there was a bunch of guys that were out of that game. The biggest reason I like this one is because they do pack the paint. Actually, I guess I'll point this out. A bunch of teams or a bunch of players that play like him have gone over their line. Only one guy, Devin Booker, ended with 5 on a 6.5 line. But we saw Maxey go over his assist line, Brunson, Lillard, Maxey again, Booker did go over his assist line, and Shai also went over his assist line at 11 on the 6.5 line. Now we get a 5.5 line. Again, I'll point out that head-to-head matchup. Hit 11 assists against these guys back in November. And if you think about how the way they defend the paint and spot-up shooting, they're second in terms of interior defense. So they don't allow a whole bunch of points in the paint where Shai's going to get a whole bunch of his points. But at the same time, they're also super weak to spot-up shooting. So if Shai's going into the paint and then having to kick out to shooters, they're weak against corner threes, 21st, 24th, and then above the break, 25th. So if he's getting to the paint, kicking out to shooters, and they're knocking them down, in terms of these spot-up shooters, literally dead last in terms of defending that area, he should be able to get a bunch of assists, and we saw that in terms of how he got his assist last time. So again, I'm looking at assists. He had 11 last time against these guys. All we need is 6 in this one. I'm really liking this one for Shai to get over his assists. Again, not going to get too crazy with the assists filters, but he's over this in 48.3% of games. You could look at games without Chet Holmgren. We can look at games without Caruso and things like that. I don't think this is going to get too crazy, but over 50%. And considering the matchup that he has 11 assists last time, all we need is 6 this time, and it makes a whole lot of sense. They pack the paint. You can see a bunch of guys similar to Shai have been going over their assist lines, and if he's going to be packing the paint and be able to pass out to shooters, all they got to do is knock them down. So really liking this matchup for Shai to get some assists. That's what I'm going to be landing on. 5.5 assists. I think that's going to be an easy money for us. Then moving into our next play here, it's going to be Domantas Sabonis over his 17.5 points line. He's been scoring the ball really well. I really like the connection that Malik Monk and him have. And if I'm going to Shai over his 5.5 assists, I'm hoping this game stays relatively close. And I think Sabonis is the best spot to go over his line here. Now, if you look at the way he scores the ball, 56% of his points or 56% of his shots come in the paint, and they're also very good at pick and roll big man in terms of their scoring. But it doesn't really matter for him. He's been scoring the ball really well, and if we actually go in terms of these filters, pick and roll big man, we can go to teams that are again bottom 15, let's say, in terms of defending that area. He's over this in 70% of games. Let's add on the fact that they're also good in the restricted area. Let's again go to bottom 15 teams, and he's still over this in 85% of games. So the reason he scores the ball is in the paint in terms of pick and roll ball handler or pick and roll big man. And I don't know why the fact that he's still going over this. I think this is a good matchup for him actually at the end of the day. So if this one's going to stay close, I like Shai to go over his assists. I like Sabonis to get some points here. De'Aaron Fox kind of has 1 foot out the door. He might get traded in the next few days. And Sabonis' scoring has gone really up with Malik Monk at the helm here, assisting the ball to him. They're like one of the best 1 and 2 guys in terms of assisting the ball, Malik Monk and Sabonis. And we've seen that ever since he started, starting games, Malik Monk that is. So Sabonis over 17.5 points. I think this is a little bit too low. If you want to look at the matchup between them last game, we can see the head-to-head. He scored 21 in that game. So 17.5, again, looking a little bit too low. And again, if you want to look at the fact that he scores in terms of the paint, in terms of pick and roll big man, it does not look very good. But if you look at those games that he's playing teams that do defend that pretty well, he's still scoring, extremely well. If you look at the secondary ways he scores, free throws, putbacks, cuts, I think that's where they're weak, and I think that's why he's going over in those instances. So 17.5 points for Sabonis, looking a little bit too low for me, so I'm going to taking the over for this one. Moving right along here, it's going to be our first under of the video, and it's going to be Victor Wembanyama under his 24.5 points. Now, he is coming off a good game against the Milwaukee Bucks, and it kind of makes sense. He's a guy that's kind of stepped up in these situations. We saw him step up in that first game in France. Now we see him step up against Giannis, who kind of sunned him in their first matchup. He had 10 points in that game, didn't rebound well, didn't assist well. They got destroyed in that game, but now they come in and destroy the Milwaukee Bucks, a game that they were underdogs, and he scores 30 points in that one. But now he gets the Miami Heat on a back-to-back set. We've seen him play 4 games on a back-to-back. He's under in 3 of 4 games, and he just crept over against the Utah Jazz, who are a horrible defensive team. So not too worried about that. And if you look at the way that the Miami Heat defend the ball, they're a restricted area in terms of defense. They're ranked 10th, and they're also in terms of transition, they're ranked 7th. So the 2 ways he scores the ball the most, 2 ways he shoots the ball the most, they're pretty good defensively. And we just look at games that he's playing teams that are pretty good defending the transition defense, bottom 15 in terms, or top 15 in terms of defending defense in terms of transition. 35% of games he stayed under against these. And we've also seen him play this team already, 21 points in a 21-point loss. So not loving Victor Wembanyama in this matchup. We also see the fact that he's on a home game. If we want to get rid of head-to-head and just look at home games in general, he's under in 47% of games. We can see other guys stepping up in situations where they're playing at home. Role players play a little bit better at home, so Wembanyama doesn't have to do as much as he does on the road. So this doesn't look like a great matchup for him in terms of restricted area defense. 33% of his shots come there. In terms of transition points, 16% of his points come there. Again, Miami is ranked 7th, and again, we just saw the filter here with teams that are top 15 in terms of defending the transition. He doesn't score it very well. So I'm liking the under here for Victor Wembanyama, coming off a good game against the Milwaukee Bucks. I think he stays under this 24.5 line like he kind of has recently. If you just look at the entire thing, he has not been scoring the ball all too well the last 10 games or so. So I'm liking this 24.5 under for Wembanyama. And then if you don't like that Victor Wembanyama under, maybe this is a better way to play this game. It's going to be Tyler Herro over his 29.5 points and assist line. You can see right here, he's been assisting the ball really well. The big thing I want to see here is Jimmy Butler's out of lineup, and without Jimmy Butler, he's been really good. He's been all-star level, and he's now named an all-star here. So without Jimmy Butler in the lineup, he's over this in 52.4% of games. But you also want to see how the Spurs defend the ball. And this is a great matchup for him to score the ball, a great matchup for him to assist the ball. 28th ranked in terms of above the break threes. 49% of his shots come from above the break. 20% of his shots also come at the rim. That's 25th ranked in terms of at the rim defense, restricted area defense. And then also pick and roll ball handlers. That's where he scores 7 points a game. That's 26% of his points. They're ranked 25th in that regard. So without Jimmy Butler in the lineup here, he's over this in 52% of games. But then you want to look at games that he's like going up against teams that are bottom half in the league in terms of pick and roll ball handling, 63% hit rate. If you also add in the fact that they're weak in terms of defending the above the break three, now we see 4 games. And he's over this in all 4 games. So loving this matchup for Tyler Herro. Again, just named an all-star. Jimmy Butler got, again, 1 foot out the door, kind of similar to De'Aaron Fox, who I mentioned earlier, and even more so, the Jimmy Butler got 1 foot out the door, trying to get on a different team. So Tyler Herro, this is his team. He's an all-star. It's a great matchup for him to score the ball. Again, you can just look at the chart. 49% of his shots coming from above the break, 28th in terms of defense, 20% of those shots coming at the rim, 25th in terms of defense, and then pick and roll ball handling. They're also ranked 25th. Great hit rate when you start to look at teams that he's played that fit into all these different filters. So loving Tyler Herro in this matchup, 29.5 points and assists. If you don't like the Wembanyama play, go for Tyler Herro over his points and assists. Probably don't play on the same one here. It's a 1-point spread. This should be a close one. But again, at the same time, if you see a blowout situation happening, the Wembanyama under looks a little bit better. The Tyler Herro over looks a little bit worse. But if you think this one's going to stay a little bit closer, maybe go Tyler Herro route or play them in different slips or whatever you want to do. So Tyler Herro over 29.5 points and assists. That's going to be, I think, the last play of the video. I'm getting a little bit tired at this point, and you can probably hear it in my voice and probably in my eyes. All right, so I think it's going to do it for this one, but I don't want to let you guys go without reminding you that I'm doing a $200 giveaway. All you got to do is sign up to Sleeper using my code RICH. There's a link in the description down below as well. You're going to get $55 just by playing $5, so it's an awesome deal. They also gave us a really good promotion last year for the Super Bowl. I expect kind of the same thing this year. They haven't told me anything or anything like that, but I'm kind of speculatory, so I don't want anyone to miss out on that. And Sleeper's a really cool app. So all you got to do is use code RICH. That's going to enter you into the giveaway. You're also going to get the Play 5, Get $55 promotion. They're going to give you a free square as well whenever you sign up for them as well. So that's a pretty sweet deal. And you're going to get a free month of my Discord community. The Discord community is a whole bunch of fun. It's not too expensive. It's $20 a month, but there's plenty of different ways to get in for free. Again, read the description down below for all those details. But yeah, it's an awesome community. We are always laughing in there, bouncing ideas off each other, trying to beat the books. There's a bunch of seasoned chefs in there. There's a bunch of people sharing plays and things like that. And it's a great community to talk people, like-minded people that are also betting sports, get their ideas, bounce ideas off each other, whatever you want to do. It's a whole bunch of fun. So definitely check us out in the link down below. I'm very tired. It's about 4 a.m. on a Friday night, and you can probably tell in my voice here, but I don't want to leave you guys empty-handed. $200 giveaway. All you got to do is use code RICH when signing up for Sleeper. If you're already on Sleeper as well, there's a bunch of codes in the link down below or in the description down below. You can use my code for any of those. And if you do, let me know in the comments down below or join the free part of the Discord. The link for that is in the description down below as well. And then you can just hit me up to say, hey, I use your code, and I do need a screenshot or something just to confirm that, and I'll get you into that entry. But want to point out Sleeper specifically just because they gave us an awesome promotion last year for the Super Bowl. I don't want anyone to miss out on that. So definitely check out Sleeper. Definitely check out our community. It's a really fun time. So you get access to all my plays, but also just a fun community. So wanted to point that out for you guys. I got to go to bed. You can probably tell in my voice and everything like that. But hopefully you guys make some money tonight. Hopefully we found some winners in terms of the board. We've been on a pretty good streak the last 2 videos. So hopefully you guys made some money from that. If you did, let me know in the comments down below. Like the video, comment, subscribe if you are new. And I'll see you guys probably not tomorrow. I think I'm going to take a day off Sundays. I don't love betting a whole bunch, and that's kind of my day off. So yeah, that will be it. I'll see you guys on Monday. Thanks you for watching the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.